Am I the a-hole for ruining my friend's business? My 29 female friend Lena, 28 female, recently launched an Insta-selling handcrafted home goods. She constantly posts about how everything is made with love, etc. Average price is $50. I was curious because some of the stuff is nice and I wanted to support until I recognized one of her products on a major wholesaler's site. It was the exact same picture. She had just added her own background. Sure enough, I looked up a few more products and she's just buying cheap and marking it up a lot. Ooh, a lot of people do that. Kim Kardashian does that, just FYI. I minded my own business until a mutual friend was asking if I bought anything. I wasn't gonna lie, so I just explained what I found. Friend obviously decided not to buy. We also ended up in a group of 5 girls discussing this, and at some point, Lena found out. So she texted, furious, because you caught her lying, accusing me of being a hater, ruining her business and making her look bad. So she claims she's curating and that I had no right to say what I did because I didn't know her process or how much time she spent vetting the products. Anybody who is starting a business, selling products, I know me personally, I do not sell anything until I have seen a sample and I've worn the sample, I've washed the sample, and then if everything is up to speed, to a standard, that's just bare minimum, to be honest. I'm sure she spent time, but yeah, that is the bare minimum. I told her I only said the truth and I didn't apologize. Now I'm getting the silent treatment and she's not inviting me to anything. Am I missing something here? Am I the a-hole? Okay, so speaking from someone who, has sold merch before, a lot of products come from wholesale websites. This is realistically how a lot of businesses run. Even businesses like Skims, for example, Kim Kardashian's company. She sources from, and I know this because I release sweatsuits. I bought her sweatsuit, loved it so much, and found the wholesaler and wanted to sell it for cheaper. It's super easy to find the wholesaler of a popular brand or whatever. The issue is you have to buy in bulk. So that's why nobody contacts the wholesaler, because nobody wants like 40 sweatsuits, unless you're selling merch. So this is a normal thing for a company to do, but the false advertising, the made with love, handcrafted, that's false advertising. That's not accurate. It's implying that she made those things. Those are just buzzwords, but it's kind of giving,
I made this from scratch,
when she just probably bought it from Bangladesh or China or Taiwan. I would argue that it wouldn't have been that big of a deal for her to be launching this business if she wasn't like lying about it, I would say a response could be, I fully support this business of yours. I don't necessarily support how you're choosing to market it. These are not handcrafted, handmade goods you're sourcing, and that's totally valid, okay? A lot of businesses do this. Most, in fact, unless you're buying off of even Etsy. Etsy sources from like Alibaba. There's lots of small businesses that do this. It's the deceitful marketing and branding that she's using. I think a good friend would point this out. And she's mad because you caught her in a lie. Not the a-hole, she's just mad she got caught. She isn't marketing them as hand-vetted. She's claiming handcrafted, which insinuates by her, unless the description says something else. Yes, I love this comment. I didn't want to say it, but handcrafted by children in Indonesia with love. That's exactly what's happening. At that price, anything you buy from Temu, Shein, if it's that cheap, I know everybody loves a deal, but someone is getting exploited. So I'm going to go with not the a-hole. I think that this is helpful feedback, to be honest. If you're going to be running a business, you're going to have to answer to customers eventually. If those customers buy something under the impression that it's handcrafted and it's well made, and it arrives and it's shoddy at best, you run the risk of like a complete and utter PR scandal where people are writing reviews and they're making videos about you on TikTok, and then your business is ruined. All she has to do is just change the marketing. She doesn't have to change the products, just change how she's marketing it. But I digress. In my opinion, not the a-hole. Drunk friend threw up on my couch and sent this apology. Not gonna lie, this is kind of normal for them. I called a cleaner and they said it's $232 for the cleaning you want for vomit. Is that fair? Here's a gigantic wall of text. I'm reaching out to you today with a heart that is heavy, with the weight of 1,000 suns, and a soul that is currently being crushed under the immense, unrelenting pressure of my own profound embarrassment. There are no words in any lexicon, human or otherwise, that can truly bridge the gap between the depth of my remorse and the reality of what occurred on your couch last night. I'm sorry, I'm crying a little bit. This is so funny. I'm utterly, completely, and fundamentally mortified to my very core. Every time I close my eyes, I'm forced to relive the sequence of events that led to that catastrophic failure of my own dignity, and I'm overwhelmed by a wave of self-loathing so potent, it feels physical. I think about your home, which has always been a sanctuary of peace and friendship, and I think about the way I've violated that sanctity with my own lack of control, and I'm genuinely sickened by myself. Oh dear. Dare I say it is not that serious, but okay. I'm so deeply sorry. I'm sorry in a way that transcends the standard definitions of the word. Girl knows how to apologize, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry at a cellular level. I'm sorry in every dimension of space and time. I cannot even begin to calculate the amount of regret I'm feeling right now. It is an infinite loop of I'm sorry playing at a maximum volume in my head. I've spent the better part of the morning staring into the abyss of my own choices, wondering how I could have let things reach such a state of undignified chaos. Wow, it just keeps going. My spirit is essentially a pile of ash right now. I'm a husk of a human being wandering through the day with a single repetitive thought process dedicated entirely to the magnitude of this failure. I appreciate the apology. It's not my apology to accept. I do appreciate it. It sounds somewhat sincere, if not a little over the top. I would say if something like this happens, just apologize profusely and pay for it to get it cleaned. You don't need to do all that. Anyways, let's keep going for comedic effect. I'm so sorry for the mess. I'm so sorry for the experience you had to endure. I'm so sorry for the sheer inconvenience, and I'm mostly sorry for being the kind of person who would let this happen in your presence. I'm vibrating with shame. I'm a monument to failure. Please, please, please know my condition is absolute and my shame is eternal. I'm so incredibly sorry. I'm more sorry than I've ever been for anything in the history of my existence. I'm drowning in a sea of my own regret. I'm so sorry. Okay, I do need you to pay for the cleaning though. Is that like a gigantic wall of text to try and get out of cleaning or paying for the cleaning? Read and no response. Hey, ChatGPT, write an insanely detailed apology to my friend for puking on her couch. I'm not gonna say that this is ChatGPT. There's not enough like double dashes or whatever the they're called. That is very funny. Like I'm gonna say, I would say that an apology doesn't really mean much unless you're willing to replace or pay for the cleaning. So this is so dramatic, but thank you for sharing.